your commitment to yourself and your desire to release the pain and struggle in your life that has controlled you, where you didn't have an option to live with a greater level of open heartedness and freedom and playfulness. Like all of that has led you to this moment. I am really grateful to be here with you, Marcy. And from what I understand, you have been going through a major shift. I've been watching it, and you had quite an eventful night last night. So let's go ahead and dig in to look up how may I serve. So, what's up?
So, I didn't sleep at all last night, not even for a couple of minutes. I laid in bed. I felt like I had dreams. And so that kind of helped me feel not so like cracked out this morning. But this has happened before, but last night I could tell the way that it affected my whole household. Like my kids came in here at 11 o'clock at night, talking to me and asking me for things and interacting with me. And my daughter was having a lot of trouble sleeping last night too. Um, so at about midnight, I took a Tylenol PM and I could feel when it was kicking in, and then it did nothing after that. I did my meditations, nothing. I knew how long my meditation was. And when it was over, I was like, I can't believe that 40 minutes just went by and then that happened. And then it just felt like super intense at times. Like I had all this buzzing going on, not like a panic attack, but just and then it was a lot of the time when this happens, I feel like I had too much coffee, like my mind is racing.
Yeah.
That wasn't happening the whole night. I almost felt like I could calm down the intensity in my head, but there was still like sleep just was not happening. Wasn't even an option.
Got it. I actually, one time, I was at a retreat with one of my teachers and mentors, and it was a 2 week long retreat. And into it, like day 4, I had this same experience. And I've had this experience as far as sleeplessness and the energy just coursing through my body multiple times. Often, when I'm preparing to facilitate a healing retreat, I'll have that experience of the energy being so loud as it's running through me. And when I'm looking at you, you're really getting ready to make a major shift. And so, as a part of that shift, it's about really allowing it and not fighting it. But when I'm looking at it for you, more so than anything, what needs to happen is to integrate the shift that is currently taking place so that the energy isn't getting stuck in the body, but it's like opening up all the rivers, all the flows, all the meridians throughout the body. A lot of times we don't know it, but when we're making major shifts, it not only is about shifting ourselves and our consciousness mentally and clearing out the held emotions, but it's also about making sure that we upgrade the body so that it can hold the higher level of vibrations. And yet, no one really talks about that experience. And so we may wonder, like, wait a minute, why is this happening? Because it doesn't seem like you can make sense out of what's going on in the body at all. But it's a super important thing to acknowledge that you can't define what anyone's experience is going to be because it's very personalized. But at the end of the day, you may have heightened senses, emotions, hearing, sound. One time, I actually was going through a major shift, and the window, I was in bed, and the window was open an inch, and there were kids a block to a block and a half away playing, and it was in the middle of the afternoon, and it was, the sound was raking through my body. It was just like every cell was on edge. because of the heightened sense of sound. And it was just so crushing towards me. And so I'm only sharing that with you because I think it's really important to acknowledge we don't have to be afraid just because we don't understand the time, the effort, or the appreciation for what it takes for our bodies to make the shifts and the upgrades in as we move through energetic transitions. But again, your body needs to be prepared. It's kind of like upgrading the electrical system from 220 to 440, right? Changes need to be made so that the wires can hold it and house it. And as near as I can tell, that's a really great way to describe the shifts that need to take place in our own physical bodies before we can hold those higher vibrations, right? And I like the no drama. There's love, there's fear. And when we move to the higher vibration of love, that container, it is essential that we ultimately upgrade the physical body to be able to deal with that capacity of the higher vibration. So, right now, what I'm doing is I'm working with the intention of bringing this integration throughout your entire body. How I'm experiencing it now is there's a lot of energy that built up in the head, and it's like there's a block here in the upper chest to be able to integrate it throughout your body. But how are you experiencing it? Like, what are you experiencing?
After we started talking this morning, I feel that I can feel the block, and it's right. This is, I feel like I have a wall right here. But after I text you this morning, it was almost like I was watching a horror movie in my head. Like there was this, I could hear this whole, no, we don't want to, we're not doing this. I don't want to do this today, meaning I don't want to do anything. I don't want to get out of bed. I don't want to go anywhere. That this whole healing work I don't want to do. Like it was everything. It wasn't just like, oh, I don't want to do this. And I could, it was like screaming at all the things I didn't want to do. I'm afraid of this. I'm afraid of that. I'm afraid, like, and it would just got really, really loud after you and I started communicating a little bit. And so I laid here for a minute and I just kind of breathed, and it has subsided a little bit, but it
Okay,
was like somebody clawing at the walls, just, and I was just watching it. Like didn't feel my energy started heightening up, but it didn't feel like a panic attack yet. But it's similar to what goes on in your head when you're having an anxiety attack.
absolutely. So, my question for you is I'm going to invite you to just take some deep breaths and to tune into that tightness and the fear that you're feeling, that contraction in your chest. And I'm going to ask you a question. The first thing that comes to mind, if anything, we just want to get curious. And the question is, what is this fear? Like, ask, like, what is the fear telling you? What does the fear want you to know?
So at first, my first thought was it's old. And then I was like, I don't know if that's you guiding yourself to go where there. So that didn't feel,
It is very old. This
I,
is a very old fear.
it didn't come clear. I think that
Okay,
wasn't come like,
excellent.
I
And
don't, I
let
know. Yeah, I feel.
so let's go ahead and one more time, just taking a deep, deep breath, using your breath to sink into your body. Marcy, what is this fear?
I don't want to be here is what came up.
Mhm. And it's interesting when what I heard was this is a death. Okay. This is a death, not a physical death, but this is a death of your old way of relating to life, your old operating system. your old insulated pathways of what you've known and how you've moved through life in your past. And I want you to just kind of breathe into this is a death and just notice what comes up for you.
Sometimes when we do sessions and I have feelings, I can kind of like tell where they're coming from or where they're surfacing, and I just feel really sad. And I don't have, okay, it's like I have a thick fog, and the fog's too thick to see through. Does
Yes,
that make sense?
yes, it makes complete sense. So bring to me the fog. You're actually already doing it. You don't have to do anything different, but just bring to me, Holy, the fog, and just allow the feelings of fear to wash through your body just like a waterfall. The fog. And recently you had an experience that you had shared with me when you were in Hawaii and you were climbing in this, what was it, like a 1,400-foot waterfall and going up the side of the mountain and then coming back down, and the fears that came up for you regarding, is my family going to be okay? Are the children
Yeah.
going to be okay?
Everything about it scared me. I was in this beautiful, amazing place, and it's a horseshoe waterfall. And here I am afraid that a landslide or a big rock is going to fall off the side, so much that I couldn't even enjoy the view. And I just looked around and I looked at all the rocks on the ground and thought they came from up there eventually. And I'm freaking out that if they're going to fall on my kids and someone's going to get hurt, and then we're not going to be able to get out of this valley, and it just got worse from there. And I saw danger everywhere I looked. Everything was dangerous. Stepping on a rock to jump to another rock hopping was like we were going to die.
Got it. And typically that's not a thing for you, that typically that's a thing that you're out in nature all the time doing that. But I want to ask you, can you compare that level of fear to what you're experiencing now?
No, because the block is stuck in it. Like I know it's there because I feel um I feel like, when you're a kid and you're trying to suck it up when you're hurt and someone tells you it's okay, you're tough, suck it up. And it's just like that, that's your expectation of what to do. I feel that much of a block. Like,
Okay, got it. When I'm looking at it, I see it as the exact same thing, but I appreciate that that's not your experience. Okay. So, right now, Marcy, this is a big ask, but I'm going to ask you to stop sucking it up and to let yourself completely go into this. Whatever the fear is, just allow yourself right there, even more, to be consumed by it. Just take a deep breath, breathing into your belly right there, right
they,
there.
they aren't going to love me, is what I hear.
Yep. And breathe into it all the way into your lower abdomen, right? There you go. This is childhood. This is abandonment, rejection.
And I don't want to be alone.
Yes. Yes. So breathe into that right there. This is so core for you. I'm so proud of you. This is very courageous of you, because until we do our work to lean into this, nothing changes.
That's what it is. I don't want to be alone.
Yes. And ultimately, doing our work is a journey to your center. It's a journey without a distance. It's about releasing blocks to becoming who you already are. And this block, this perception of feeling abandoned, rejected, lonely, needs to be met so you can fully make that connection with yourself in a way you never thought was possible. It's beyond understanding. Continuing to breathe into it, Marcy. Let it consume you and let it move throughout your entire body, not just your brain, not just your mind, your entire body. Right there, right there. Breathe in, breathe in. And I'm hearing your psyche say, what if I die? Right there, keep breathing into it. This is it. I'm so proud of you. I could see peace instead of this. It's one of the lessons from A Course in Miracles. Breathing all the way into your lower abdomen. Get this energy moving in through your hips, your uterus, your abdomen, all of your organs, and throughout your entire torso. Let the energy open and flow. This is a death, but it's not a death in the physical sense. It's a death of your identity, of how you've experienced yourself in the past. And now invite the energy to move into your lower back. It's stuck there. Want to allow it to move down and through your spine, into your hips, and just
Where
start.
you're naming exactly where I feel it.
Yeah.
Like it's not here anymore. I get a cool sensation going through and it's right at my, like below my belly button, my hips, like sitting there now. And before it was up here. This feels cool, almost like I just got out of a cool shower.
Excellent. You're doing so well. The energy is moving, but just really focusing on the back, lower back, into the kidneys, into your coccyx in the back. I could see peace instead of this. There you go. That surrender. Bring in the universe of surrender. I'm so proud of you. You don't have to do this alone. And yet it's a journey without a distance. It is your journey, and no one can do it for you. But you do get to be supported. And so now start up at your neck again on the back side and have this energy, invite it, this energy of purification into the top of your shoulders and into your angel wings. And if it's helpful, even moving your shoulders back and moving, back and forth, moving your shoulders, like getting and inviting the energies through your entire backside. I could see peace instead of this. There you go. And now mid-torso in your back, inviting it again into the middle of your back on down, washing through. Just like a waterfall of purification. And connect with the words I now ask, the highest enlightened awareness of my soul. That part of me that knows my goodness, my magnificence. to move in and through every cell of my being now, mentally and emotionally and physically. I ask to expand my body's capacity to hold this container, this vibration of love, and sustain it throughout my days now. There you go. Nice job. Surrender into it. There we go. And start moving this energy in through your thighs and through your knees and down your calves and out the bottoms of your feet. There you go. Right there, love. I'm so proud of you. This is it. This is what you've always wanted. A connection of sustainable love with yourself. Right there. There you go. What is that feeling? Name it.
um, there's a little bit of fear. I don't know, like I think, okay, like I can feel it moving through me. And then there's this, I don't want it to come back. Um,
Yeah.
the I don't want to be alone doesn't feel so strong, but there's something else there that I can't name. I just,
It,
so it was stuck here and now it's down. Like I can feel it down,
yeah.
but I don't,
The way I'm experiencing it is the circuitry throughout your body is being activated. And the fear is coming up in the impulse of the old way as we're meeting it and turning on the circuitry. It's like a residual, like, oh, wait, you can't do this. You're limited. This isn't real. And so just taking a deep breath and honoring that it's coming up. Thank you for your information.
so Rita, I have always, um, like don't want to show affections. There's something that gets blocked right here when I think about it. When I think about hugging my kids, when people hug me, when people say like are being affectionate with me or being open-hearted with me. And when I check into that right now, this is that wall that was right there is not here right now at all. And it was when we started this conversation. So if I had to put it into words, I feel like I could really give somebody a hug right now and mean it. That's what I feel like.
That's amazing. And thank you for sharing that. And that's the beauty of doing the work. But when you think about it, what this shift is for you is about supporting you in connecting with trust in an even greater capacity. In your childhood, I guarantee you there were things where trust wasn't an issue. I mean, you weren't able to trust. It wasn't safe for you in so many ways. And so now, as you're leaning into making this shift, you're accepting that those experiences aren't the truth of who you were. And you're no longer having those experiences of mistrust define you. You get to trust that you can trust that somebody who's not living in their integrity is not going to be able to share their integrity with you. Someone who doesn't live in a place of loving kindness isn't going to be loving and kind to you. And that is magnificent. So, this is a level of shifting your consciousness to know exactly where you are and as you are is the divine perfection. So, again, just taking a deep breath as we begin to wrap up this segment. and just let this energy flow through your entire being. Even after this session, I will continue to hold space for your integration. But compared to where we started, you've already integrated the shift that you're making 68%. And there's still more, but just breathe into it. Just invite it to go all the way through your entire body, including from the top of your head into and down and out your legs, down and out your feet. Just let it flow. You don't have to understand it mentally. Your body physically needs to come online.
That's exactly what it was. I was just about to tell you, normally I want to articulate things with you, and just because my night was so rough, I'm totally like, okay, I don't want to be having this experience. So I didn't, this is the first time that I haven't really needed to explain it, and I did feel into it. And this is just like that intensity, any kind of anxiety feeling, anything does not exist right now.
That is amazing. And I want to acknowledge every single session you've done, your healing retreats you've attended, the monthly support program Journey to Your Center, all of that work you've done on your own, that all of that has brought you to this moment to be able to make this shift. Your commitment to yourself and your desire to release the pain and struggle in your life that has controlled you, where you didn't have an option to live with a greater level of open heartedness and freedom and playfulness. Like all of that has led you to this moment. And it can feel scary at times. And simultaneously, you get to trust the process, knowing your body knows exactly what it needs to do to heal. I'm so proud of you. This is amazing. So I'd like to check in with you later, but right here and right now, is there anything else that you want to share? I will continue to hold space for your integration. And right now, it's like at 76%, which is just like, wow.
Asked myself what I wanted, and it was like, you know what? I feel like I want to grieve a little bit.
Yes, yes. And thank you for articulating that, because often, even when we're making positive shifts, we still need to grieve. It's about grieving our old self, and it's about grieving that we didn't know that we can live in a capacity of open hearted love. There's many facets of grief, and you don't have to understand it. Just letting yourself feel that throughout your entire body is such a beautiful way to go. I'm also noticing a sense of relief. There's still a little bit of energy stuck in the outside of your hips. So continuing to visualize and invite this waterfall of pure love and pure consciousness throughout your body is also a beautiful way to go. And also just like you would a tender new baby, because you are this loving child who didn't always have the understanding and the nurturing that you needed throughout your life. And so it's time to give it to yourself and to receive this presence of this divine container of transformation right here and right
Okay,
now. Yeah,
thank you.
you're so welcome, lovely. Wow, who are you?
I don't know, but when I felt myself say thank you, it was like I was totally open-hearted and loving on you when I did it, and that's different.
When we do our work, we're creating space for ourselves. And every single time we dig in, it just gets more and more and more as we become who we really are. And so, thank you for the honor of supporting you super early for you this morning. And I'm so glad I could have this experience. And thank you. And I want to let you know I love you with my whole heart and soul. And I'm so proud of you, friend. Thank you for reaching out to me so that you could open to trusting and being supported. It's it's amazing.
Thank you.
Mm.